Hey guys, did you know if you're attractive, if you have status, if you're financially secure, if you have the social proof and the approval of other women, that is somehow a new dating tactic? Well, that's what Rizz is. If you guys have been around the internet for the past, few months, that's at least when I've heard about this. I didn't even know what the heck it was to begin with, but it's just basically game. It's game under a different name, but now apparently Rizz is short for charisma. So how this is a new popular dating tactic that women can't get enough of, well, it's just going to be weaponized and thrown back into your face, because if we've learned anything from the Andrew Tate situation, Rizz can be characterized as the lover boy method, and women are left helpless because they're simultaneously strong, independent boss babes and then helpless children if they're just co-opted and manipulated by evil, sexually driven men. It's just like, wow. You just love to see a mainstream media catch up to stuff that guys have been talking about for generations at this point. But let's see if they made any breakthroughs when it comes to figuring out what Rizz is. Ever met somebody who's not your type at all, but suddenly they start talking and you find yourself getting all hot and flustered? Oh my god, bruh, this is so absolutely stupid. This is the stuff, pickup artists mastered, okay? The guys like Mystery, okay, would wear the big feathered hats, have his painted nails. Guys who understand female nature and how to exploit it. Like these tactics have at least been widely circulated since the early 2000s. The Game, Neil Strauss's The Game, like, come on. Look who they use as examples here, okay? If you found yourself getting all hot and flustered when you were talking to somebody who wasn't your type at all, think Adrian Brody. Oh, Oscar winner Adrian Brody. Adam Driver, okay, the guy who was the equivalent of Darth Vader, didn't quite pull it off as well, but in three of the most successful films of all time, okay, Javier Bardem, a suave Hispanic man, Russell Brand, what, Benedict Cumberbatch, Pete Davidson, Mick Jagger, and heck, even Rami Malek, some of the most accomplished men in the world. Oh yeah, they aren't quite your type. Okay, these are men who you would barely look at twice if they passed them on the street. But watch Mick Jagger work a stage like a god, or Adam Driver acting quirky, weird, cute, schizophrenic if it's in Star Wars, in a movie, and all of a sudden you're thinking, could I? Yes, girl, you could. And again, if you've ever, I don't recommend it, but if you've ever listened to a woman in general, no, but just explain the type of guys that they are attracted to. First of all, they're only going to give you politically correct responses. Or if they're going to give you anything approaching actionable, they're just going to tell you, well, I don't know, somebody who's like got good energy and he's like ambitious, and maybe a couple of other superfluous little boxes to be ticked, like he's good with his mom, and it's like, I don't know, maybe like our star signs need to align, because also at the same time where they're getting swept up by this new thing called game and the ability to articulate your points and carry on conversation, these are the same chicks that check their not astronomical, that's just their, percentage points and their approximation of ever finding a good mate with, regular societal dating advice. But they're out here checking, their astronomy and zodiac signs. Oh my God. Well, I'm an Aries, and that means that I'm like an air sign. And then I would work really good with like with a ground sign, like maybe like, because I'm an Aries and he's like a Taurus, then maybe we could like work really well together, because then he'd like balance me out. But these stupid, absolutely stupid common tropes when it comes to women seeking men in today's day and age, they don't get it, man. They don't get it at all. Because your average woman that's out there, regardless, I'm not even talking looks, okay? I'm just saying every chick that you meet on the street, she's already a default feminist. All of the language is already so deeply ingrained in society. She's got to have a strong father who said a good masculine frame from the get-go in order to have a hope of speaking any type of sense into a modern woman, because it's tough out here, and that's why Rizz, or game if you're not gay, helps out a whole hell of a lot. But this is a brand new tactic, apparently. Why? Because they've got what TikTok is calling Rizz, and it's a cheeky dating tactic that tricked me into bed with a guy more than once. And if it turns out that he's successful, I can just go ahead and say that I got brainwashed and I ended up getting graped retroactively. Now, before we get Yes, to get to that, I should probably explain what Rizz is. It's short for charisma. It took me a long time to figure out what that was. I just thought it's like, okay, game's got a new name and it has repeating consonants. Okay, fine, whatever. It sounds fine. And not like I care. Because guys aren't running around running Rizz checks on each other. Well, at least not in common day-to-day behavior. What they do in their bathhouses is totally up to them. And according to Urban Dictionary, it is defined as the quality of attracting women without even trying, and being the type of man that everybody knows has the suavest personality and charm in the room. Yeah, exactly. Let me break this down for you. The guys that men want to be and women want to fuck. Sounds old? Yeah, because this shit's been around for fucking ever. Note, not the hottest in the room, the most charm in the room, exactly. And it's got women ripping their clothes off. Yeah, because you talk to an average dude that's out there, they're just as fucking goofy as you'd imagine. Most people are fucking weird. And most women, okay, the way that they're, just putting this all on the guy. It's like, oh my God, he's just so charming and charismatic and enigmatic. I just think about him all the time. You try to have a conversation with a regular woman. Oh my God, they bring nothing to the fucking table. Okay, so what do you like to do with your time? What kind of hobbies do you have? Well, I like to shop and post images. I post on Instagram, and I like the Kardashian. I was watching this new reality show, and by that time you just want to put a gun in your mouth. But I said this multiple times over. Okay, many other people that I respect when it comes to talking on these issues just tell the exact same story. It has never been easier to be above average in the sexual marketplace. The average woman in the United States is 5'4". Oh no, I'm sorry, 5'6". 5'4", between 5'4" and 5'6", weighing 170 pounds. That is a fucking bowling ball. Okay, and the average black woman that's out there, I just know these stats specifically, 179 pounds, 180 pounds. Listen, I'm 6'6". I am 220 pounds. A bitch that's more than a foot shorter than I am. And there's a good likelihood that they may or may not be in the same weight class as I am. That is fucking insane, dude. Yeah, this chick is just going to go ahead and tell one of her bedroom tales, and we'll indulge for a second. As it said, it worked a treat on me. Yes, is this old broad. Okay, so Jana Hawking. She kind of has the dashing good looks of a anorexic Amy Schumer or geriatric Margot Robbie, but it's like, yeah, okay, fine. Tits look all right, and also, judging by that picture right there, you got like a 50-50 chance of hitting it raw because I think those eggs are powdered, so whatever. There was a skinny, lanky guy at a new job I rocked up to. What, was he the manager or something like that? And then all of a sudden I found him so charming and his jokes were hilarious. He was giving stick insect vibes. Oh my God, again, just go and see. Whenever a chick unironically says, well, he's giving such and such vibes, just ask her about the most interesting conversation you're gonna have if you hear unironically somebody mention vibes. Is just ask them about their zodiac sign. They'll be able to tell you about the moon that they were born under, the sun that dominates them, and the stars, and whatever the other superfluous shit is. They're going to be very spiritual as well. And I didn't really pay much attention to him. That was until our first production meeting when he started getting really passionate about the project that we were working on. See, imagine that. He was probably the lead on that project, and all of a sudden you found somebody with a little bit of status and clout, and the fact that everybody was paying attention to him, some social proof. Then all of a sudden you started to find him attractive. Fucking weird, huh? He was confidently throwing around ideas left, right, and center, dominating the conversation in a good way, giving me props for my ideas, and basically being a total boss. I couldn't get enough of it. Exactly, and bitches will never fucking tell you that that's what they're actually attracted to, a fucking masculine, competent men, because confidence leads to competence, which leads to accomplishments. Shout out Myron Gaines for that one. And yeah, if you're good at your job, guess what? People notice, and then that makes you the guy that other guys want to be, and women, even as old as she is, want to fuck. She's really not all that bad. That was just a terrible picture. I guess close-ups aren't her thing. By the time we made it to the end of our work contract, I was absolutely gagging. Pause for this gorgeous daddy long legs. His Rizz worked a charm, and before I knew it, we were celebrating between the sheets. You go, this bitch, easy, son, easy. Then there was a guy who slid into my DMs during lockdown. He was far too old for me and bald as a badger. He went by the name Tate. It sounds familiar, but I can't quite make it out. So he offered to make cocktails and go for a walk around the local suburb. Oh, see, hey, low value investment first date. I love it. My bored self thought, sure, he'll make for a good friend, but nothing more. Oh yeah, famous last words, ho. Jump forward a few hours later, and his deep voice, cocky attitude, and complete self-assuredness. Are we sure this isn't Tate? Had me prepared to risk COVID for a bit of sexy time. Yo, because these bitches are lonely. And there's only so much peanut butter than that poor dog on the bed can stand. Holy Rizz, I tell you, it's dangerous. And do you know who works it? Oh, you know who works it best? New Yorkers. Yeah, they just run volume because they see so many chicks on a daily basis. Like, it's not, this isn't hard to figure out. I discovered this last year after jumping on a plane and searching my own eat, pray, love adventure. Yeah, this bitch fucking, she is a total hoe. Not to be taken seriously. She's probably got a body count in on and around triple digits. Okay, recreational use only. I've been stuck in Sydney for far too long, coming across the same old blokes on the dating apps. And she's on dating apps, who seem to lack the suave gene. Yeah, of course, because they're on fucking dating apps, and you get one shot at that shit, I think. I've never been on a dating app, don't need to. Their definition of wooing a girl is grunting, hey, as an opening line, snore. So, and again, yeah, that's the regular rank and file guys. See, there's something we can actually learn from that, okay? The average guy has no fucking game at all. They just all think, well, if I just go ahead, if I pray hard enough, the Lord will just put a good virgin girl in front of me. You fucking idiots, man. This isn't the 1950s anymore. If you want to believe that shit, Daily Wire's that way, fuckers. So, in a slightly reckless move one night, I jumped out of bed, logged onto a travel site, and booked a trip to New York. And you're in Australia, which had some of the strongest lockdowns in the world. Interesting. But yeah, you were worried about the pandemic, but just like, I just need to go get my back blown out by Tony. Sure. Hands down, the best decision of 2022. Why? Because New York men have game, or should I say Rizz, as they're now calling it. And take it back, those tits are alright. Man, they're, holy fuck. They're as far apart as Australia is from the US. Holy fuck. She's probably not all that bad, you know, like 2 decades ago, when she was in her 30s. Perhaps Americans are just born with Rizz, but I'm telling you, their ability to confidently make the first move was turning men who I would normally consider 5 into a 10 based simply on their bravado. Exactly, man. Game is the great equalizer. That's why it's always hilarious, because those insecurities are just going to seep into your regular day conversations. Oh, I'm not as tall. I'm not 6 feet tall. Does it really matter? Okay. Oh, I got a receding hairline. Again, just fucking own whatever you do. If they're immutable characteristics, you can't help it. Obviously, okay? Sometimes some of that shit is completely out of your control. Some bitches absolutely won't fuck with a guy who's bald, won't fuck with a guy who's black, won't fuck with a guy. Hell, you won't even get into the same room as some of these, like 8, 9s, and 10s if you don't make a certain amount of money. That's okay, man. Hey, man, you can't force anybody to do anything, nor would I tell you to do as much. You got to play the hand that's dealt you. And as a man, guess what? Most of the shit that makes you attractive to women, you can work on. You can get your ass into the gym to make yourself less fucking pudgy. Okay, you can strike up conversation. You can work on your social skills. That's all of game in general. You put those reps in, you will see results. Not interesting? Fucking read some more. Experience life. And just simply, most importantly, work volume. The easier it gets easier the more you do it. It's universal in life. So yeah, man, don't get intimidated by these hoes. They are this fucking basic, okay? If you can go ahead and trick a bitch into bed, don't for a moment think that you're a superior, or that she's a superior to you. This bitch is dumb. So I'll let that be a lesson to us all. No longer shall we sook about never being able to get a date. And as for a woman, it's like, okay, for as many shots as I've taken at her, and probably fewer than she's taken to the chin, she's not that bad. Like, she's in good shape. Doesn't have any visible tattoos, so at least that's a positive. She can get dick any fucking moment that she wants. Her problem is she can't retain a man because, well, she's flying around the world to get her back blown out by some fucking half Puerto Rican. So yeah, she probably has a shitty personality on the back end after dudes hit and can't retain a man. That's her problem. As for a guy, you need to present all of these characteristics up front in order to get box, which is ultimately the man's half of this equation. The man's half of the equation is attracting the woman. The woman's half of the equation is retaining the guy, providing value after the fuck. None of these chicks get it. They just think that it's universal across the board. Instead, how about we try to inject a little Rizz into our dating game? Yeah, how about you provide a little bit of value after the fact so you're not scrolling through the same profiles on the social media apps and the dating apps, you fucking weirdo. It doesn't require the gym or plastic surgery, just the right mindset and a bit of assertiveness. I do agree with that line, but also, you know, she's kind of self-reporting on that one. Doesn't require plastic surgery. Yeah, we aren't talking about the dudes who are getting those fucking weird-ass ab implants, or those Brazilian cats who get those giant fucking synthol arms, which look weird as fuck. But no. Just hit the gym, read a book, take a course, be fucking interesting instead of just muttering into your drink, you dorks, okay? So the next time you spot a woman or a man, pause, in a crowd that takes your fancy, why not turn on the charm and go up and say hello? Woo them with a broad smile, confident demeanor, and ballsy bravado. No, but I could end up catching a case. Catcalling's illegal in certain places. No, don't be fucking weird, okay? Because there's that meme, and I couldn't find it to save my life, but the attractive guy who leans over a cubicle and says, how's it going, Patty? And then Patty goes, oh, great, oh, hi Dave, or whatever his fucking name is. And then there's the guy, the schlubby sweater vest, you know, he got the undershirt poking out underneath, and he's got the big old fucking taped up glasses. Oh, hi Patty, how's it going? Oh my god, sexual assault. And in the words of the late great Patrice O'Neill, if you're walking around, if there's a motherfucker who's got a hunchback, okay, as long as he knows how to use that shit, there's gonna be a bitch that catches his eye, and he walks by, and she's like, damn, there must be something about that hunchback, because he's owning it. It's like, looks matter. Looks will get you in the door, but then it's your game on the follow-up. So yeah, don't be intimidated by these bitches. They're dumb, okay? Not in a misogynist sense, kind of. It's just, you pedestalize these broads way too much, man. And heck, if you're not feeling all those things, simply fake it till you make it, which is putting in the reps, okay? Yeah, and that's also, you know, setting the foundation of your confidence to make accomplishments, so that you will be competent in everything that you do. May very well surprise yourself. It certainly worked for Pete Davidson. Well, yeah, and Pete Davidson's funny. He's been on SNL. I don't necessarily agree with those, but yeah, you can't doubt. Oh yeah, and he's also like just about 7 feet tall. So yeah, he's got a lot of W's, but he's also maximized those as well. So just also think about it for yourself, okay? You might be focusing on some negatives in your life that are keeping you from being confident, but if you just decide to maximize everything that you do have under your control, yeah, you're going to have that unspoken Rizz about you yourself. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.